Mr. Bilal AlSheikh. He's the technical advisor from Palo Alto Networks.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. I hope still you have energy to attend the session. But as they have always saying, the best save the best to the last. Zero trust. So I'm sure you have already heard about this term, most commonly about the zero trust strategy. So hopefully today you will have a better understanding what does it mean for the how, why, and what is it. Who am I? I am Bilal AlSheikh Ali. I'm a technical advisor at Palo Alto Networks, as well as a PhD student focusing in zero trust. So this is actually the proposed agenda. Hopefully with the allocated time, we'll make sure we'll cover most of it. I prefer to start with this slide. So unfortunately, this is one of the tragic incidents happened back in 1904 in Baltimore. What happened over there, actually, there is a fire started over there. It lasts for 2 days continuously. More than 1,300 buildings had been burned down, and more than 35,000 people has dispatched the city. So all the neighboring cities, like New York, Philadelphia, Atlantic City, so they have sent all their fire fighters. Once they arrived over there, they surprised that the hydrant or their hose fires doesn't fit within the existing. It's all about zero trust. So again, it's just challenging questions, and I'm not expecting an answer now, but if you are facing one or you don't have answer for one of these three, so of course you have to have the zero trust strategy as part of your top list activities. So let's start with the definition. What is it? So zero trust by itself, again, it's not a solution. It's a strategy. It's a journey. And it's started back in 2010 by this guy, all thanks to the guy, John Kindervage, who has coined the term zero trust. And as you have seen, it started with 2010, but now we can see the adoption in the industry as well as in the academia for that particular strategy. So what does it mean? It means this is a paradigm shift where we are applying all the security controls in attempt to achieve two things: availability and the protections for all the business assets as well as the data. Why? Being an engineer or scientist, we always care about the why rather than how it works. Why we need it. And this is actually sent us back to the World War II, where actually when all the fighter planes come back to the base, the Allies actually, they have done the order evaluation for the bullet holes, so they can strengthen and armor the firefighters so they can send them back. But always there is a guy who said, hey, stop. We are looking for all airplanes that come back, which means they have survived. They have done it. We have to look into the data in a different way. What about the airplanes that already have fallen down? So we don't need to focus on the bullets, whole bullets that we can see here. We need to focus on the areas where it doesn't hit. There is no hit in that area. This is where actually we need to reinforce our armor and we need to strengthen our security. And this guy actually was a mathematician. His name is Abraham Wald. So it's not about the data that you see, it's about the data actually that you don't see. This is where actually all the risks are present. Okay. If you have been in the industry for a while, so that's actually has been the I would say the network infrastructure for ages, where actually you have parameter, and everyone in terms of users, applications, they are just reside in the head office, and the application services reside in your data center. It's centralized, and everyone sits behind this wall or on premises. They are trusted. and they are granted trusted, which means whatever they do, they are trusted because they are connected over the LAN, the local area network. So this is one challenge. It is about the parameter, and nowadays we can see it. We are working remotely, right? We are working from home, working from coffee shop. Actually, even myself at Palo Alto, we don't have offices. We are working just remotely. All what I need, my laptop and internet connectivity. That's it. I can connect and I can just do and perform my work. The data, it's all about SaaS application, software as a service. It resides on the cloud. So all the data on the cloud. So you don't need to present to the office unless it's mandatory. But in this case, what about the trust? How you can ensure all the connectivity, you are connected securely to your data center, accessing your application and services. This is one. Two, how we can ensure that you are who you claim you are. I am Bilal Ali. I'm connected to this website. I have my username and password. But what is the guarantee that it's not stolen? So this is about implicit trust. We have to eliminate implicit trust, and now the application users available everywhere. So why we need it? Mainly we need to address the three main components I believe any organization would be interested in. First of all, it's all start with the business benefits. Being an engineer, you can put in place the best solution ever. But does it meet the business requirements from cost perspective, from business objectives? So you need to make sure that whatever you have put in place needs tick the boxes for business requirements. And this is what we can do with the zero trust strategy. Technical benefits. It's all about, I believe, no one would like to be a trend, right? On Twitter, for example, for breaching, their data had been breached. Organization X already has breached, and now the data available everywhere had been stolen. You can imagine the CISO position. And last but not least, it's all about the operational benefits, which starts with the simplicity. You can have the best solution out in the market, but how easy to manage, administrate, and automate the configuration in your infrastructure. So you have to have the concept of simplified operation. So how we can do it? To make it easy for all organizations that they are interested to adopt zero trust, we have the five steps, or we call it what? 5-step methodology within Palo Alto. So first of all, it's always started with you need to identify your valuable assets, what you need to protect. Because if you look at your digital infrastructure, you have users, you have applications, you have connected devices, even at the level of the transactions, what you need to protect first. Where is your, as they call it, the crown jewels? What is the most important data for you? Is it your database? Is it your web application? Is it your users' credentials? So you have to identify those. We call it in the industry the service. What? We call it the service management. Right? And then we have to have all the maps between all the digital workloads. You have applications connected to the database, users connected to the applications. You need to identify all the logical connectivity within your digital infrastructure. Then actually here where it comes to architect, and this is the design phase. You have to put a design where you need to protect all the assets that you already have identified in the first two phases of the zero trust strategy. And then we need to create a zero trust policy. In order to create a zero trust policy, you need to have a solution that can address the 6 questions: how, what, why, when, and where. So who starts always with the identification. I am Bilal. Okay, prove it. So I have something I know, which is my password, right? And something I have, which is my multi-factor authentication. So it's about a strong authentication. What you are trying to access? Which application? Where does it sit? Is it on your premises? Is it on the cloud? Makes a big difference. When? Do you have any time limitation to access these resources, or is it open? You can access all these applications anytime you wish. And exactly it's always about where. where are these applications as well. You get the source code. I believe GitLab or GitHub, these are especially for engineers and computer science students. You will use those a lot, but you have not always, usually embedded malware on the codes that you are downloading. So you are downloading all these codes. You don't know who is the author of those ones or the creator. You download it in your laptop, and once you connect to the network, the spam is spreading. So you are a victim one. Why you need it? So you can identify the function for users that are trying to access certain applications. So it's all about the granularity, and this is something we will see it in action once it comes to how you can create, for example, a zero trust security policy within Palo Alto. So in order to make it easy for you to digest the idea, already we have break down the digital infrastructure or the digital workload into three main pillars. Let's start with the users, application, and infrastructure. And in order to make the zero trust actionable across all the three main pillars, already we have all these domains that you can see. And each single one of those, it's a security control by itself. So in order to claim that already you have adopted the zero trust strategy, you need to make sure that you have all the security controls required to address the functional requirements that you can see here. Within Palo Alto, we do have solutions to address each single one of those. So the business use case here, if you are familiar with any firewall interface, most of the firewalls, I would say, they have started with layer 4. So you can create an access list based on IP address and ports. And this is actually in the OSI layers, it is up to layer 4. How we can elevate the access list to the level where we can work it out based on layer 7. And this is the granularity that we were talking about, right? The Kibling style with the 6 questions that we can ask. So in this case, I don't know how to use the pointer. Okay, so here, for example, you address which zone you are connected from to which zone, and this is the users. You can integrate with your Active Directory, whatever database where users' credentials are reside, and then you can have all these subdomains as well. So this is to address the users. Then you have the devices, which devices they are connected to. Are they network devices? Are they Mac users? Or they are Windows users? They are Android users? You can have this granularity in the control. And then actually this is the source, the destination. And actually, as you can see, we are not anymore, no one cares about the service ports. Oh, we are using port 53 for DNS. No one cares. All what you need to do, just put here DNS, that's it. So this is actually the capability of, for example, of the layer 7. Or if we are talking about sophisticated applications like Facebook. Facebook, for example, they are using heaps of ports, service ports. You don't need to enable each port by itself. All what you need to do, just here in the application level, you can say, for example, as you can see, Twitter, Base, LinkedIn, Google. You can have Slack, Facebook, that's it. And even if the service provider, they change their ports, it will be automatically updated here with zero intervention or human intervention. And this is the application. The services actually, this is like if you just need to give it a name. If you have, for example, in-house developed application, you can do that as well, and you can identify the service ports and you can create application or service. And always, of course, you have the action, allow or deny. And most importantly here, as you can see, per the security rule, you can apply the security profiles about like DNS, how you can protect DNS, how you can protect the URL filtering, how you can do the sandboxing solution as well. We call it the wildfire. And we have actually much more security profiles that we can implement. So zero trust in a brief. Remember, it's not a solution. No one can sell you a solution and say, oh, this is zero trust solution. It's about strategy. it's about security controls, it's about guidelines, and always it starts with the mindset of the executives. So you have to have the buy-in from the, for example, board of directors, your C-levels, and this is where it comes. Top-down approach with the management, and then you may say, okay, I'm interested in the on the zero trust cybersecurity resilience, but I don't know how to start. So now there are services. It's a pure services agnostic of regardless what kind of a product you have in place, and they will come in, the consulting engineers, and they do the assessment. We call it, for example, zero trust readiness, where they can do all the 5 steps of the methodology that we have explored here, and they will come up with a report that, okay, you have a gap here, you have a gap there, this is what you need to do, and this is actually what should be the next course of action. And I believe with that, that concludes the end of my presentation. I hope I was on time. If any questions, I'm happy to take it. Else, I will hand it over. Questions? All right, thank you.